4 years ago, I went from living a life that I didn't like, a 9 to 5 grind, to living my dream life in 6 months. Not 60 years, not 16 years, not 6 years. In 6 months, living a version of my dream life. And in this video, I'm going to break down for you how you discover what you actually want from life, rather than the things people have told you that you should want. How you then build that character and that version of yourself and then achieve it in 6 months, rather than waiting till the end of your life to go on a little retirement and have the things you want, and why your dream life is way cheaper than you actually think it is. So number one, let's start with lifestyle design. First thing you need to do, and just bear with me here, we're going to tasks in a minute. Kill the retirement mentality. The reason there is a retirement mentality that you should work your entire life and then have a little pot of gold or fun at the end is because that makes great workers. It's designed by the system. If they say to you, yep, 40 years you give us of relative security, you can have the dream at the end. You need to get rid of that mentality. You do not need to wait until the end to have the dream. You can have the dream in 6 months' time. You might not know how yet, but it is absolutely possible. The problem with the retirement mentality is that by the time you retire, and people think about things in this way, they think, I can save up the money, eventually buy the dream house, eventually move to the dream location. By the time you've done that and you get to that location, even if you achieve it, you have lost the life force to really and truly enjoy it. By the time you're old, you will not care about possessions, most likely. You only care about possessions and things now when you're young. As you get older, you realize that those things don't really matter, and you'll kind of look back and think, fuck, I wasted my whole life working towards something I didn't want. So how do you find what you actually want if it isn't things? Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Not wanting something is as good as having it. And you do that by asking yourself the $100 million question. And I did this before I moved to Thailand and went after my dream of being a creator and building the businesses I have. And the $100 million question is, what would my life setup look like if I had $100 million in the bank? I'd done all the fun shit and I'd bought all the fun stuff. So hedonism and the activities, the travel, the luxury goods will all lose their shine with $100 million. When you've bought them, you've had them, and you realize they didn't really change you as a person, and you're still left looking for something. The question is, what do you do when you've got all this stuff? And the guide for you here, and you can write this down, would be write the 3 things you do. So the environment that you would like to be in, for starters. Environment is so huge to your success as a person. The people you're around, the weather, the opportunities available. It's one of the biggest dictators of your success in life, is being an environment that actually helps you with that. For me, making content, I didn't want to do it at my mum's house in the UK. I wanted to go on an adventure because then the content wrote itself. So I went to Thailand on a solo trip, on a one-way ticket to never return unless I was successful. And the environment put me around other people doing that. And it also gave me this physical environment that I felt happy in. So if you had $100 million, where would you live? Do you want the sun? Do you want the mountains? What is it that you want out of an environment? Where would you live? And decide that. Then what would you do for enjoyment? If I had $100 million, what would I do every day? For me, I would still go in the sun every day because I just like it. I enjoy it. I would still work out every day, ideally with friends, because fitness has been a huge part of my life and I love it. So I knew, okay, even if I had $100 million, I would still do that. And what would I do as my profession? And what would I do as the thing if I had to work 4 hours a day? Because when you have $100 million, you'll get very bored very quickly of having completed everything. Men, we're not meant to retire. We're not meant to break from work. We're meant to work on things we love, and it actually fills us with life rather than takes life from us. So what would you do for 4 hours a day? A good amount of work. Would you write? Would you make videos? Would you like to teach someone something? What would you do with your time if it wasn't for money? For me, it was create. Even if I had $100 million right now, I'd still create videos. I'd just probably do them on a bigger scale and end up making movies. So I knew those 3 things. I want to be in the sun, in an environment that I enjoy. I want to be able to go to the gym every day, and I want to create stuff. That's my dream life. It's a life I still live now. It was a life I lived when I had no money, and I went after the dream life before it was affordable to me. Number 3, who you want to become is more important than what you want to have. And people do the dream life task, and it's not a bad thing to want possessions. They're pretty motivating. I've bought many things over the years, and they do have varying degrees of fun. But what's more important in the dream life is who you want to become who you look in the mirror and you're proud of. And I decided if I'm this person, goes to the gym, that makes things that help other people, and I live in a nice environment where I can get the sun, I'll become a better person. And that leads us on to one of our tasks in a minute. But who you want to become is more important than what you want to own. Number 4, don't be tied down by the dream. Freedom is the goal. Getting to decide what you do daily is freedom. Having things should never compromise freedom. So when building the dream life, it's absolutely okay to have wants to be a millionaire or have a big house and a mansion, but it should never compromise freedom. As soon as belongings compromise freedom, they're no longer worth having. So what you decide is, what position would I like to be in where I get to decide what I do every day? Decide where I travel, decide who I spend my time with. The more possessions you add, the more money you need to make every single month to keep up with a lifestyle, the more trapped you are if you don't like your vehicle. So what I would recommend doing at first is decide a life that you could live every day on the smallest amount of money. That's what I did. So I went to Thailand because I knew I could live my dream, I could make videos, I could go to the gym when I wanted, hang out with friends, go on the beach, and it would cost me 2K a month. So I could do my dream life. Now the beauty of being able to do that, and what happened for me, is that then doesn't feel like work. And in order to become outlandishly successful in something, you have to spend more time doing it than everybody else. And you have to do it when nobody else wants to. So for me, I've been making videos for 4 years, I still make them now, because I enjoy doing it. So I couldn't be beaten. And in the end, even though I didn't have much money when I started the dream life, in the end, I ended up making $4 million doing what I love, because I could spend the time doing it because it never felt like work. So that's where we want to get to in your mindset of building this dream life, which takes us on to our tasks. Task number 1, design your character. Who you want to become is more important than what you want to have. I would design a character as if it was a character from a movie. Who do you want to be? How do you want people to talk about you when you're out of the room? What are your skills that you have? What's the look, the fashion? What are the morals? And what do you use in battle? This is an interesting one. Use in battle means, who are you when times get tough? What is the ideal version of you? Who is the character that you would be proud of? And build him as if you were writing a character for a storybook or for a movie. Write his muscle mass, write how he looks, write how he acts in certain situations, write how he thinks, write how he uses language. Basically design a character that you want to become. Then with that character in mind, write the dream day of that character. So when I first started and I was still at my 9 to 5, one of the tasks I did was I wrote the dream day as if it was happening a year in the future. So I wrote exactly where I woke up on the island of Koh Samui, Thailand, in a 3-bedroom villa with a truck downstairs and a motorbike. And I looked at my YouTube and one of my videos was popping up and I had a girl in the bed next to me. And then I went to the gym with my friends. And after that, I went to dinner and I had enough money to pay the bill for everyone. Write what you think your dream day would be in complete detail and read that to yourself every day and visualize it, because that's your goal. That's where you're aiming to get to. What happens in the middle, once you know the map, the destination, which is why this is so important, the middle bit gets filled in. You fill in the blanks. It's the reticular activating system of the mind. If you think of a red car, you see red cars. If you think of a purple car, you see purple cars. If you think of the dream life, your mind will find the route to get there. Then, number 3, break down the costs. This is where a lot of people get stuck. You think that you need millions of dollars to live your dream life because you base your dream life on false status signals, having a car, having a house, blah, blah, blah. What you actually realize is you don't need much money to live the dream life, to have freedom. So for me, when I broke it down, I looked at my life and I thought, well, I could get a villa in Thailand. It's going to be like $2,000 a month. It's like an amazing villa. I could get a truck. I don't even need to buy a truck there. I could get the best truck. It's $500 a month rental. I could get the best bike and it's $500 a month rental. And I cost up going out to dinner, all the things I wanted to do, the freedom I wanted to have. And I was like, wow, if I can just go to Thailand and make 6, 7K a month, I can actually live my full-on dream life as if I was a millionaire for that price. And you can do that in many places around the world. What you need to break down, I think, to make this exciting, is an experience you'd really like to have, and break down the costs of actually gaining that experience. For example, you want to learn to skydive. How much is the skydiving license? How much is it paid on payment plan over 6 months when you put some time into it? That's what you want to do. You want to cost break down the minimum viable product of your dream life. The version just allows you to do what you want to do every single day that gives you meaning, and then set a 6-month goal. If you're working a 9 to 5 right now, genuinely in 6 months, you could be free of that and on your way to the dream life. That's what it took for me. It was 6 months. I said, this is the dream life. Broke down what I needed to save, booked a one-way ticket, moved to Thailand. The path illuminated as I walked it. Was there hard times? Yes. Was there times I didn't think I'd succeed? Yes. Am I glad they happened? Yes. The dream life is not a retirement goal. It is not something that needs to wait 40, 50 years of you doing a job you hate to go and get to. You can have it in 6 months' time. And the beautiful thing about this is if it's built the right way, not materialistic, but what you actually want to do every day, and you put your time and effort into doing that thing, you will get so outlandishly good at it that you can have any possessions you desire. That's what happened to me. So my task for you now would be to do all of this, to really take some time, maybe put a playlist on of like chill music, maybe some inspirational stuff on a Spotify playlist, and sit down and have a real think of these questions, what you'd like to do, plan it out, and then just set a date. If you like the idea of moving to a different country and just giving that a chance and quitting your job and going after something you want, write the date in 6 months' time and book the fucking ticket and go for it. There's a beautiful thing about being brave. When you're brave and you go after what you actually want in life and you figure it out, you will get there. No plan B, just fucking go for it. If you do that, you will achieve it in the end. So, I hope that helped. Go forth and conquer. I believe in every single one of you. And I'll see you on the next video. Whoop out!